Yeah, so recording have just started and it's 11 o'clock. We will, if somebody will join later, they can join. And I would like to welcome everybody to this webinar, Arqus webinar, Inclusive Universities for Children. And I am Equal Opportunities Coordinator at Vilnius University, Ruta Rolita. And it's my pleasure today to be with you. We have, it seems, very chamber environment, you know, where we can, with most interested people in this topic, share our ideas. So I would like just to remind for those who will be watching this uh, record of the webinar later, that this webinar comes under Arqus Alliance action line widening access, inclusion and diversity, which main aim is to widen access through diversity, through inclusion for universities. So our today's topic about inclusive university for children, it comes under this idea that we are trying already to make children from early age, of course it depends institution to institution, to make emotional ties with the universities, be it they will choose to study in this university or in other kind of higher education institution. And as in the schools they have very, how to say, discipline and more routine environment, in universities they can try and to get acquainted more closely with science, with culture, with art or other kind of activities. And children universities, what it gives already for children is some kind of thinking, some kind of safe environment to start their projecting their career or choosing study subjects without gender biases. And very important aspect about children's universities is that it is an opportunity for those to hear about university and possibility of studies for those children who usually might not have an access to higher education due to social or economical reasons. So today we will be discussing, and we will hear three presentations from University of Granada, University of Padua, and Vilnius University about what kind of practices are already long due in different university, what works and what not, what angles are chosen. And at the same time, we will see what impact it does for regional growth. So I invite everybody to be active, to give questions that we could analyze these topics more deeply. Once more, technical detail is that this recorded video will be available in Arqus YouTube channel. And now we will have each presenter doing presentation, and afterwards or meanwhile we already can post questions here online on Zoom chat, or also afterwards, after all presenters will do their presentations, we will still have some time for discussions. So if everything is clear, now I would like to invite Pablo Garcia from University of Granada. He's the head of the Free Software Office at the university, to tell about his experience working with children campuses, and how all ICT technologies helps to deepen the knowledge and to increase how to say, technology literacy for children already from early age. So Pablo, I
Okay,
invite you to give
thank
presentation.
you. Thank you very much. I will start sharing my. Sorry, I have to give permissions. I have to exit and enter again to in the Zoom app because I have to give permission to share the desktop. Just a minute.
Okay. We can wait 1 minute. Not a problem.
I'm here again.
Okay.
Because I had to restart the application in order to.
Well, you are the master of IT, so you do what you feel what you want to do.
Okay, excellent. Do you see my
Yes, your slide.
presentation? Okay. I am Pablo García, the head of the Office for Free Software in the University of Granada. First of all, I want to thank you for this possibility to talk about the summer free software campus for kids that we organize since the start of this office that it started in 10 years ago, and more than 10 years ago. This is the 14th edition of the campus, and this campus is a very important cornerstone of our office. Our office is depends of the digital university delegation of the university, and not we only have a relation with this campus and other, but also with all stuff related with free and open source. The idea for our office is to offer solve questions, prepare protocols to release software, release educational materials, always related with laws and other protocols. We also offer technical support for to all the community, and also we manage all the computers that use open source operating system like Linux in all the universities. Also, we deal with open data, open documents, and all that stuff. Well, this campus started, as I said, 14 years ago, because we decided the first head of the office thought that, as you said, that offering the kids direct access to technology could help them to choose these careers or start to have sooner or later children they will have to deal with computer science and computers and mobile phones and that. But if from the beginning we started guiding them to use these technologies in a proper way, maybe they will face less dangers. I will comment that later. Well, we organized this campus in the School of Computer Science that they offer us the classrooms and the computers in order to give this campus. And well, the objective is, as I said, is to promote the ICT tools. But not only that, we also want to share the vision of our office. That is that the open knowledge and the free software, it's a good thing. It's a good thing because we are in a university, and it's important to say that we should, as scientists and people that work in this kind of institutions, to share and promote the open knowledge. Well, the idea is to awaken this scientific curiosity. We offer the children a lot of cool materials and a lot of cool activities. I will mention these activities later, and they work together to develop some kind of projects and create some challenge for them. But also we create this we made this campus in collaboration with a company specialized in teaching children, because I mean the professors of this campus are not only computer scientists from the university and that, but they are helped by some monitors that they are more used to deal with children that we do, the professors and organizers. Okay. The idea is as I said, the use of free software from an early age, so they know that Windows are not the only choice that they can use. we show them the benefits of using free software. But also this is open to boys and girls. And I will tell you later about another campus that we also are organizing, more related with the fusion of STEAM careers between girls. But I'll come later. Okay. The idea is because the range of age to children, they grow so fast that they have different technical skills. We usually this campus start from 7 and finish to 14 years old. This year, because the coronavirus issue, we had to reduce the turns to 2 different groups, and we divided from 9 to 11 years that they have some kind of contact with new technologies. But other years we have another extra group for smaller children that they never had contact with technology. We also offer a group for school children that are a bit older, that they have some expertise on these technologies, and sometimes they even have repeated in previous years. So to avoid repeating the same activities and tasks, we change every year. Okay. With this course, usually is last during the month of July. In Spain, the school holidays starts at the end of Jan, but fathers and mothers usually work on July. So this is not only to this campus is not only to give children this experience, but also offer the parents a possibility to compaginate, I don't know if it is the word, work while the children are not in school. There are 2 turns every turn lasts 2 weeks, and it starts all the morning, basically when the father and mother are in work. As you can see, the price is not so high. This year has been to be a bit higher because we have to reduce the number of students from usually 200 to 100 because the coronavirus situation. We have to raise a little this price. But it's in Spain, in comparison with other campuses, it is a very competitive price. And also we offer the University of Granada can offer a subsidy by the Social Action Office to reduce the price even more. Well, I have to say that my experience organizing this campus is not very high because I am the head of this office. I started 6 months ago, and I'm preparing my first edition. So I still don't have the whole experience pack, but it starts next week. So after I close this meeting, I will go to prepare the rest of materials and organization stuff I still have to do. So we hope that it will be great. Everything is going smoothly by now, but okay, I will mention what are the differences between the 2 groups we offering. The Benjamins, I don't know if this word can be translated into English, but Benjamin, the Benjamin is the smaller child of the family. We call Benjamins to this turn because the children first are they are gathered in the meeting room. They are give a speech, a presentation, and we teach them to design with image using always free software. For example, using GIMP software, another free software image edition that exists. We also explain them that you cannot use every image you see in the internet, because usually they have copyright and that, but we show them how to search for images that are free to use. Okay, We also offer the possibility. We also every day is a different thematical day, so every day we change the activities, and also we not only are focused in technical activities. They monitors. They also offer the kids games and other activities more physical. So it's not only in front of computer all day. Well, but when they are in front of a computer, they learn how to block programming using Scratch. I don't know if you know this program, probably yes. That is an easy way to program moving this cute cat. And they start to learn how to think in computationally. We also show them a computer, and we open the computer and we show the children all the elements that they are in a computer. We also show them how to recycle these materials. And we deal with also with more artistic activities like music creation and other activities. Okay, we also it's very important that we take a lot of effort in talking about the security, because if children enter in internet, they will see a lot of ads that they click, and they could enter in pornographic pages or scams or that. We usually we try to teach children about some issues that they could found in the internet. We also do some kind of recycling activities. For example, with a CD, we create a spinning top that we offer the children also a lot of materials and scissors and paper and that to allow them to creatively create something. We also have some kind of open hardware devices like Microbit or Maki that they learn how to connect to the PC and program. So they love because every year we offer the children to every day they have to write in a blog so the parents could see what they are doing, what they learned that day. And they always put in this blog, I love this activity with the Microbit. We programmed the lights and something, and they are very, how the children are. They're enjoying that a lot, and they write this with a lot of emotion. And finally, at the end, we have a final session to present what activities they have done, so the other classes can see the differences. Okay, we usually gather all the children in the ceremony. We gave them a T-shirt, a notebook, and this accreditation badge with so they have a memory from the campus. Okay, and in the junior program, there are people that they are a little bigger, so from 12 to 14 years. This is more similar. It's similar to the previous one, but because they have more technical skill, we can give them more advanced activities. We directly talk about the Creative Commons licenses, how to search and filter by this kind of license. They program directly with Python and higher level computing programming languages. They do video editing. Okay, and they can do a more full project. Okay, as you can see, the children here are a bit bigger than the others. Okay, but I think even as I mentioned this campus for kids, I think it's interesting to tell you about this other campus we organize at the same time. This computer technological campus for girls is a campus in order to make this, I don't know in your countries, but in Spain, there is only 15% girls studying computer science. You know how this degree with so many possibilities and no unemployment, why there is only I have 80 students in the classes I give in this year, and there are only 4 or 5 girls. So the idea of this campus is to offer girls from 12 to 16, 17 years the possibility to attend to this campus. This campus is a free campus. They don't have to pay anything, and the girls usually come here to the School of Computer Science. This year it will be because the COVID situation also will be semi online. Some classes will be at home and the others will be here, and we gave the girls materials to develop using Arduino and other components to develop a creative project. And we also mix this with other companies and reference and women that work in these companies like Google, like Unit4, very important technological companies that give the girls some motivational speech. Also, another good thing that we do with this in this campus is collaborate with the campus in Ceuta. Ceuta is as you know, a Spanish city in the north of Africa. That is usually there are not so many because they feel so isolated. And with this, the girls from Ceuta and Granada can interact between them. So we give the people from Ceuta also some attention. Okay, this is a very cool campus also that we are very proud to do this. I cannot tell my experience yet because both campuses start next week, and it will be my first time. But by now, the people that are helping me, the girls that organize this campus, the other professors and monitors from the campus, from the school children, are very motivated and they love to work this, and I'm very happy to be part of this. Okay, I think I finish right now. Thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any question, you can tell me now or maybe later, as you want.
Okay, Pablo, thank you very much for your inspiring presentation. In fact, I was thinking it would be so good, for adults to have such Benjamin or Junior's course, because there are a lot of stuff which
pretty lot
yes,
of cool activities. They're pretty cool.
Because this generation, young generation, they are very digital generation.
Exactly.
Yet those who are older have a gap of this knowledge. So I was thinking I would like to learn,
all the other stuff. It's pretty good.
Also. I would like now. Let's wait for questions from the audience. But I would like to ask you, maybe from your experience or from your colleagues, like what is the feedback coming from children? What they are, how to say, most surprised to learn about, or what is most useful? And maybe you would know from those different groups of age.
After finishing the campuses, we always give the parents, but also the children, some form to fill to give us feedback. And then we usually adapt the stuff they like or they don't like to remove from previous years. So this has been a very polished thing since they started 14 years ago. They have removed all the stuff they don't like. For example, I read some blog posts that the children, we had to do graphics generation and we don't like it a lot. But when they talk about Python programming or dealing with these Arduinos or Maki, where they have to deal with hardware, they love that. This has been the best day of my life. Sometimes they write, how children are. They write stuff like this. So, but they really like the programming stuff. Usually you think, because programming is very difficult. Probably they won't like that. But it's curious. The programming part, the more difficult part, they love it. They love it.
Okay. And what kind of questions do you get from them? Like, what are they in need for?
Sorry, what?
What kind of questions are coming from them? What are the need? What comes? Okay, maybe it's a bit broad question or abstract. I am asking. It's just to know what they are most interested. For example, maybe they want to block, I don't know, parents from seeing something. Like, what is their knowledge and interest goes to?
Well, I don't know, because I still don't interact with the children yet, because it's my first year. But I think they are most well. I think the good thing is the people that organize these activities are not professors like me. They work with children. They know what they need better than me, because in my case, I won't be able to teach all the children, because they ask a lot and that. In previous edition, yes. In fact, in previous edition, I've been the magician of the campus. When the previous head of the office contacted me, do you want to at the closing ceremony do some magic tricks and that? And they love this kind of thing. The mixture of technology and physical and other kind of activities. It's very. They love this mixture of things.
Okay. I have one more question. You was talking about gender dimension, and that about 15% of students in IT programs is female. And what is gender division of like kids campus for free software? What do you notice? Because it's of free choosing, I believe, to come.
I think that the Childs campus is 40% girls. 60% boys. I'm not sure about that, but if I remember correctly, that is the current. But it's funny because when they get older, the girls start to low interest in computer science and technology. I don't know if maybe it's the society, the things they see in television, how you watching movies and you see the computer people are always men or something like that. But it's curious because when they are little, you cannot distinguish a boy or a girl in the campus. They are doing the same, and they are very motivated the same. But once they are getting older, you see this bias or this when girls move to another areas. I think previous organizer of the campus have some publications about this issue. Well, there is a lot of literature about this in the repositories, academic repositories, that probably will answer better this issue. But I think it's a issue that still exists, and it still should be addressed.
That's in fact very interesting observation about that. In early age, they are still so open to choose anything that they are interested in. And later, much more in the late teenage years, they are impacted by social stigmas on subjects or things like that.
Exactly. Yeah. And it started a lot of years ago, because when I started my degree here, the situation was the same, or even I would say that even worsened. In my days when I was a student, there was less girls than boys in my degree. But now as a lecturer, I see that this proportion is even lower, besides the efforts. So I think some initiatives will be continue working on this to see why this is happening.
Yeah. And my last question for you, it would be whether kids at that age you are teaching, are they already asking questions about possibility of career or studies possibility, or it's too early yet?
No, I think they ask a lot, because they put in the blogs, I want to develop video games. Oh, I want to be a hacker, and that they start to get motivated about this. And we always told them, hey, if you want to do this, you have to learn mathematics. Don't remember that the maths are very important and that. But they always put in the blog, and I want to create video games. I think video game creator is the star career at that age. But yeah, a lot of them, at least at this ages, they always mention that.
Okay, so thank you very much, Pablo. It was
Thank you for
really
the
inspiring.
invitation.
Yeah, and it was really inspiring presentation of yours. So good luck during this summer in your school. And well, we will still discuss later.
Okay.
Yeah, and for now, I would like to invite Elisabetta Menegatti and Agnese Comellato. I hope I pronounce your names and surnames properly. To talk about practices at University of Padua, what is a children university, and also how Botanical Garden is involved in all of this.
Yes, thanks. Our presentation consists of 2 parts, one about Kids University Padova and one about Botanical Garden with activities for children. And I can share my part is about Kids University Padova. We organize it every October since 2016. And it is a week-long event dedicated to young people between the ages of 8 and 13. Why we organize a week-long event? We organize it to bring together communication, logistic, and registration activities, and to bring recognition to the city of Padova, its province, and neighboring cities. It is important for us because before this week-long event, every department of a university organizes some activities for children, but it is not communicate so well. Excuse me. It is important to bring awareness and to promote initiative from all university departments. We have 32 university departments, and in this week-long event, we've helped our logistic and communication and registration help. All university departments can participate and organize activities for children in all subjects, not only one or some subject, but every subject from STEM to literature to history or something else. It is a way to show that the University of Padua is also open to young people. All the city can know it if we organize together in the same week the activities. The development of the event was stuck. The event has gone steadily, including a number of proposals from university educators, number of venues. We have 30 venues now. Now I think it is 2019. Because with COVID, we have to stop this activities in 2020, but we begin this year di nuovo. The number of organized activities is gone, and the number of participating school and families. We organize this event for children who comes with school, and with a teacher, and for children who comes with families. You can see here the participation growth over the years. You can see the total number from 4,000 to 6,000, and the growth of participation with schools and with families. This year, in May, we did the last edition, and we can reach 900 children because we organize only the families edition. Because with COVID, the schools cannot reach university. Kids University Padova offers access to at least 30 different university locations to young people and teenagers. In addition to education areas and laboratories, Kids University gives us access to venues of cultural heritage importance, usually not accessible to only accessible to adults, such as the theatrical performance held in the Sala dei Giganti. By doing so, we allow young people to enter the most fascinating of university locations and educate them on its vast beauty and the numerous curiosities. The inclusion perspective brings a sense of importance to young people as they discover that the most beautiful and significant places of a university are not just for adults. This location usually are not accessible to young people, to kids, to children, because we organize activities to adults. And it is very important for us to open these historical sites to children. You can see a theater event in Sala dei Giganti. We open historical sites as Palazzo Bo and the University Museum. Palazzo Bo and 10 University Museum offer special guided tours in this week, and educational activities. Including a visit to Palazzo Bo, where young people discover Galileo's podium at the first and the first permanent anatomical theater in the world. In this occasion, in this week, it is specific. We organize specific activities for children. We organize a graduation ceremony at the end of this week, welcoming all participants together in the Aula Magna where Galileo Galilei taught. Also, Aula Magna Galileo Galilei is usually open to adults for university activities, but not to children. They are in awe of this place. They watch a short performance. They can watch photos and videos of the week, in 30 sites. Each participant gets a handshake from the rector, and they receive a souvenir photo and a diploma. You can see in this photo where what it happens in this ceremony. We can every child can meet the rector in this whole. What about inclusion? We work about inclusion in the last edition to improving a wider choice of venues, also in peripheral areas of a city, because these historical places are in the city center and not in peripheral areas. So we can we improve the use of affiliated study rooms in areas without university locations. We organize activities for families in these study rooms in peripheral areas to make it possible to children who lives in these areas to come not in the best historical places, but in places in which we organize activities, science activities for these children. About schools, we know that some schools have difficult to reach the university. So we organize some activities at school where the lack of public transport make it impossible to reach the university. Not often, but only in this case, because for us it's very important that children can reach the university and see the university locations. But in some cases in which this was impossible, we choose this solution. We have some plans plans for the future about inclusion, and we improving transport service sponsored by the university or by private companies, and develop educational counseling for children with disabilities, or improve communication strategy about available services. Italian Sign Language or Stenotype, for example, are services which we can offer, but we have to explain it better to the schools and to the families that they can ask for this help. On the COVID period, activities are obviously difficult. In 2020, we made an online edition only. This year, we organized a workshop dedicated to families with almost 1,000 participants, and we can note that the registration filled in less than an hour. We organized 60, I think, activities, and in an hour we have all filled. Now I think that Agnese can continue our presentation.
Yes.
Thank you, Elisabetta.
Thanks.
Thank you. I'm going to share the screen. Yes, so good morning to everybody. I'm Agnese, and I'm in the I work in the office, in the event office of the Botanical Garden. I'm here for telling you something about the Botanical Garden and about the activities for children in the we organize for in the Botanical Garden. So a brief introduction about the Botanical Garden. So the University of Padua, Padua Botanical Garden is the oldest university botanical garden in the world to have maintained its own original location and architectural layout. It was founded for the university students in order to recognize medicinal plants that were used at that time for healing people. Since it's the original of all botanical gardens in the world and represents the birth of science and the scientific exchanges, in 1997, it became a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It hosts more than 3,500 plant species, including historical trees, and there is also a big greenhouse called the Garden of Biodiversity, which is was open to the public in 2014 and explores where people can explore the relationship between plants, humankind, and the environment. The main goals of a botanical garden and also the Botanical Garden of Padua is biodiversity protection and plant preservation, of course, but also the scientific dissemination, so also in which we find the activities for children we organize. So a few numbers. So we've got an area of 3.5 hectares. We've got 6,000 plants, of which are 3,500 species. And in the biodiversity garden, we find 1,500 species. And we also host 150 endangered plant species. From a visitor point of view, each year before COVID, we usually had 180,000 visitors per year. And also we had 1,500 guided tours and 200 school workshops and 100 events every year. This is our public. So of 180,000 people, almost 30% are made of schools and families. So what does the Botanical Garden organizes for children? So first of all, we've got some activities that are ordinary. So we offer available for the public all over the year. So first of all, the guided tours that are available for schools of all ages, are available in different languages, so Italian, English, German, French, and also in Italian sign languages. They can be also thematic, so teacher can also ask for to focus the guided tours on special theme, for example, food plants, medicinal plants, or biodiversity, etc. And the guides of this guided tour are all experts, so they also can change the way to interact with the public according to their own age. And in 2019, we had, of course, more than 1,600 guided tours. We also offer some school workshops all over the year. So right now we have 10 hands-on activities to discover plants and nature. And they are all available for children from 4 years old to 17 years old. We have different activities according to the age groups. And the topics of these activities are botany, cultivation of plant uses, medicinal plants, plants for food use, biodiversity, ecology, so all topics related to the natural world. And yes, as I told, we had in 2019 more than 200 activities for children. But apart from the ordinary activities, we also organize events. And the idea of organizing events for families and children is to have different experience of the botanical garden. So from a different point of view, instead of the basic and scientific point of view. And we also want to offer a botanical garden, which is a place where children and family know more about the natural world by having fun and also by having different experience. And we want to create, as the Botanical Garden is, a place where culture and nature meet together. So the most important event we organize is the Risvegli, which means awakens, which was usually before COVID organized during spring, and it was more or less 4 or 5 days in which we organized exhibition, concerts, special guided tours, shows, and several activities for children and families. We also had national and international speakers. And the first edition was in 2016, and every year we had until 2019, we had more than 12,000 participants every year. And every year we have a different theme, of which all the activities we organize are all connected to. Of course, all connected to the natural world and biodiversity. Apart from the Risvegli, we organize several activities during special weekends or special days. For example, we organize weekends for families in which we got these scientific activities focused on the discovery of the world of plants and the world of the natural world. But also we organize activities that are related to the world of plants. In this picture, you see an example of an activity in which was focused on the use of plants in music, for example. And we also organized several concerts for children as well, and also theatrical performances with national and international partners. And here in this picture, you see that we like very much having these performances also in the old Botanical Garden, so outside. This is a picture of another example of event we organized. This was called King Solomon's Ring, which was a site-specific experiment or experience designed by La Piccionaia in 2019 for a project called Useful, that was UNESCO Site Experience for All. There was an inclusive experience designed for all, which means that everyone could have joined this experience. So from children to adults, and also people with disabilities, so deaf people or blind people could have joined all together this kind of event. Of course, the COVID stopped a bit the Botanical Garden in a sense that we were open to the public only 6 months. Of course, we increased during lockdown, we increased our social networking and digital events. But also we readapt the well-established event format. For example, Risvegli, which was organized only in spring, has changed. So right now we are organizing several events during all summer, so small events with which more or less 100 or 200 people can join maximum, and they continue all over the summer. So last year we had during summer 3,500 visitors during the 11 days in which we had these events. And of course, during lockdown last year, we organized also new learning activities. So Gioca con l'Orto, play with the Botanical Garden. So we designed new 12 online activities for children and their families that could have been done during the lockdown, so at home. Of course, the 2020 was a gap year, but we used this time for projecting and working towards 2022, which is the 800th anniversary of the University of Padua. So for designing new activities and new working on new projects also for children. So we are going to have new learning activities for children that are going to be also available online, so we can reach more students and more schools, not only on the region of Padua, but also all over Italy. And all over Italy. We also are working on a project that's focused on the schools for Padua and online activities. And we are organizing also books presentation focused for children. But also, at last but not least, in 2022, there is going to be a new opening, so a new Botany Museum in the historical building that's going to unificate full collection, the herbarium, garden dispensary, and Botanical Museum. And this is going to be a chance, and it's going to be a new experience and for the Botanical Garden. And also, it's going to be a new way to enjoy the Botanical Garden. That's such an important cultural heritage all over the world. So thank you. And if you have more questions, I'm here and I'm happy to answer.
Thank you, Agnese, for a very nice presentation. Everybody can write their questions in the chat. I would like then to start giving question for Elisabetta. It's interesting you mentioned that the initiatives for Children Campus started in 2016. So maybe you could say where the initiative came from, and later what kind of departments has joined to this initiative.
We are a wide wide subject universities. So I think it is particular of our initiative that can participate all subjects. We have, I can show you, I think, this site. This is our Kids University sites, and we have the program online of the last edition. And you can see, unfortunately, in Italian because the public is Italian, but we have veterinary, and we have political science, we have biology, economy, spazi parlanti. The history of Palazzo Bo. So this is important for us that every school and every family can choose what prefer. Every subject, I think we have a better offer in scientific subject, because it is too easy propose activities in laboratories and to make something. But for us, we have every subject in this initiative. And from the beginning, we have a wider choice.
Okay. And I will also ask one question. What do you think, in your opinion, what are the benefits for institution of having such kids campus activities? What did you learn in those, it's already 5 years, active years? How, or maybe there were some institutional changes of practices. It would be interesting to hear your perspective on this angle.
Yes, I'm surprised about the participation of our professors, because we don't pay nothing about this for these activities. It is an activities of dissemination of our university educators, and they are very generous, I think, because the meet with children was very come si può dire, Agnese, che li appaga molto, che li piace molto, cioè che sono tutti molto contenti di incontrare i ragazzi.
So all the professors are all very, very happy to meet all the children, and also the vice versa, so the other way around.
Okay, yeah.
E che con l'esperienza aumenta sempre anche la disponibilità dei docenti, nonostante sia faticoso organizzare queste attività.
Every year, even though it's time consuming, every year, since there are many since the participation is increasing every year, then also the professors are even giving happy to do these activities. So every year the activities that are of the professors are more and more.
Okay. Okay. So thank you, Elisabetta. And then
we have in this meet Giovanna Carnovale, who made this experience. So if you want, she can
share also.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
No. Okay. I think Elisabetta and Agnese explained really clearly about this project. I I'm more, say, I'm one of the professors who took part to this, and I think it was really, in a sense, rewarding to participate. And I think one of the charms of Kids University, as opposed to other things that we are doing in each single department, is on the one hand the fact that we are doing this all together, and also the fact that, as you were saying, since schools are coming, so and there are also schools that of the neighboring small towns, so you really come in contact with children who have never considered studying at the university because maybe their parents never did, and so I think it's a good way to get in touch and to reach different kind of children. So yeah.
Thank you, Giovanna, for your comment. Indeed, it is a very, how to say, impressive and very good example that you know, you are thinking not only inviting children, but how to reach that you are going, and also now thinking about special transportation for reaching, you know, as much kids as possible that no social or economic problems would cause not participation of them. So it's really good example. Thank you. I also would like to ask Agnese. It was very impressive that the guided tours are given in Botanical Garden among other languages, also in Italian sign language. Yeah. And I wanted to ask whether there are any other kind of initiative related with children with disabilities.
Oh, yes. So also all the laboratories, we also, so whenever a school books an activity, then we always ask for if there are some students with disability, because we have a special attention for them. So in a sense that whenever there is a special activity, then we've got an operator or an educator which who helps the person to do that kind of activity. Also inside the Botanical Garden, we've got also a path for blind people. So, and also all the most important plants have a sign, a label with the braille, so written in braille. So for people, for blind people. And yeah, one example of the activity we also organized for students with disability was this King Solomon's ring, which was really interesting because during the project phase, it was really interesting starting from the point of view of students with persons with disabilities. So it was the idea to create something that was starting from a different point of view, and something was really, really nice to create something that was involving everybody, and everyone could have done that kind of activity. So I really appreciated that. Yeah.
Okay, that's a really nice activity indeed. So thank you very much, Elisabetta, Giovanna, Agnese, for sharing the practices from Padova University. And now I would like to invite Professor Renata Bilbokaite, who is the head of Šiauliai Academy in Vilnius University, to share her point of view and experience. What is the contribution of university in inclusive regional growth? So Renata, I'm inviting you then.
Good afternoon to everyone. I will try to share my screen. Share.
Yeah, we can see your presentation.
A moment. Do you see full slide?
Yes.
Okay, so that's good. So again, good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for this invitation, that you would listen about what I really, really care. And why I am care about this thematic area, I will explain very briefly. I am professor of education, but I live in the region. And now I will show where I and my team is. So you see Lithuanian map, and there you see Vilnius. It is our capital city, where mostly 90% of buildings and human resources scientists are located in Vilnius. It means mostly all Vilnius University is there. And Vilnius University has 2 campuses. One is in Kaunas, somewhere here. And since January, Šiauliai is also in Vilnius. What does it mean, Šiauliai? It is a town in northern part. We were a separate university for 70 years. And according to politicians and some governmental decisions, we were merged, joined to the biggest, the best university and the oldest university, to Vilnius University. So now we are not separate university, but we are a campus of Vilnius University. And that's why we are called Šiauliai Academy of Vilnius University. So in some cases, we are the same as we were. We are located in that area. So everything what we are creating by our daily life, daily working activities, scientific, oriented to social society, cultural, and everything what we're doing is mostly oriented to that northern part of Lithuania. I was a representative of management for more than 10 years. I was responsible at that Šiauliai University for strategy and quality department activities. So these regional things, how we create impact to society, was one of my research objects also, because I wanted to prove that it is essential to have university studies, university activities in every region that we can do this. One of my research articles together with my sister was published, I think, 5 years ago, and we did a simple content analysis. I think you all know what it is. That's looking from the texts, scientific articles, categories and subcategories, how universities are essential and why it is essential to be in a region, what additional value we are creating. So I've got approximately 4 main categories from the mostly cited keywords. And one of the biggest was education. Today, what I've heard colleagues from other universities, Padua and Granada, presented how they started this big, enormous journey with the children. So again, university and education starts not just when you apply to university as a student, and then when you become a professor later, but it starts from since youngest age, from kindergarten. So now what we are doing and what practice I will show a little bit, we are doing the same as colleagues in other universities, but in lower level, because we are very small. We have approximately 2,000 students, but when we were bigger, we made a lot of things for the region exactly. So we are preparing human resources. We are raising the qualification, professional growth. We are increasing competitiveness of the region in the industry. Second, one of the biggest categories was R&D. It means research and development activities, but they've exactly foster a progress. In scientific articles, mostly are cited things like innovations, patents, ICT progress, tools, models, and so on. Everything that can foster exactly and directly in exact area, at school, at some micro level at business and so on. It means if we have university or university studies in the region, we can expect much more progress in that region because we create human resources, we have expertise, excellence, we prepare something very valuable in science, and we can give to the society. The third thing was about development. You can see that development and the progress is some kind of very similar words because it is about the same thing. To develop because we are preparing human resources, it means from us, students are going to labor market and they already are creating additional value depending on how they are working good. We are doing entrepreneurship. Every university located in special regions, wherever they be, we are doing this. And we are, of course, creating cultural development. We are fostering it because, as we all know, where are located intellectual people, there will be needed a theater, music, visual art, it means galleries, museums, opera theaters, intellectual discussions, and so on. So there will be also evaluated and evolving infrastructure around these intellectual people. Last year, we counted how many activities together with social partners we are preparing. So I count approximately 400. It does not mean that we are doing alone by ourselves as a faculty of Vilnius University, but we are doing this with all our colleagues in the schools, in botanical gardens, in public sectors, various activities together. It means we are trying to raise the culture and interconnection between each other. So the last category that we got from that scientific content analysis was expansion. And the same, you can tell me that there is a relation between expansion, development, and the progress. At the same equal horizontal line, what we create by our education, increasing common values, because if you are a leader, you will have people who will go after you. You will create the area around you. So the more leaders, the more intellectuals we have in concrete region, the better results of expansion, progress, and development we can expect. It was my point of view, but when I'm talking about this many years with the politicians and with the colleagues in Baltic cities, we are asked as a scientist, okay, you are good, you're making progress. Where is improvement? Where are your evidences? So I've started more than last 3 years to look for the evidences, for the data, for indicators. And today from other colleagues, I've heard these evidences and indicators. Many students, lots of them, many activities, and so on. So the problem about indicators, why it is so difficult to ground that it is very important to have universities or university studies in the regions. So there are 4 basic impact categories that count innovations. And you can find this document in European Commission site. Here you see the link. If you would need, you will find all full document. There was made a research analysis, and these scientists concluded that there are 4 exact areas how we can look for indicators to prove that we all, what we are doing, are very important in that region, and that we must, not should, but must start our university's journey from and since children. Education, R&D, entrepreneurship, and regional orientation. 4 basic categories where we can find indicators. Why it is difficult to measure? because to enclose exact university direct input in the regional growth is difficult because of multi-phased and long-term based goals. We are not preparing this alone. We are preparing perhaps with teachers, stakeholders, some business people, municipalities, government, and so on. So there are lots of indicators, a lot of players that put an effort to the regional growth. And there are 4 basic problems why it is difficult to prove why it is important to have universities and start that journey from younger age as we can. First of all, it is difficult to express all indicators and all our value, for example, botanical garden activities, to express this, how much money or how many, just we live in liberal economy and many things we are used to count in monetary values. And politicians may ask you, express in money, how efficient you work, how long you work, what did you get? And sometimes we do not have the answers because we create just something like internal value, internal educational things that we cannot see by our visual eyes, and we do not transform into monetary determinations, monetary definitions. Second problem is source of information. We are doing lots of work as universities, and today I've heard a lot of things, very interesting things, how colleagues are preparing, how they're helping for students to grow up with real science, with real scientists. But we're lacking information about the feedback, how influence these children, and what we get from this activity in long-term period, for example, after 10 years. The third position is unexpected outputs. We cannot prognostice. We cannot predict exactly what will be in the future because we made this. For example, we created a social model. We suggest botanical activities, botanical garden or STEAM activities. We cannot predict how many of these students would come after 10 years to universities, especially women, and become real scientists of chemistry. So this is also a problem because we cannot see the future, we just can't put the efforts and we still lack evidences. And the last problem is we are not alone. This is strength, of course, but a problem too, because we are not alone, we are comparing and we are working all together. There are a lot of players. We can directly measure where was our, as university, input. I suggest a triangulation, and what we are doing in my department, in Cholet Academy, we are inviting in every hour meeting, official and not official, business and public sector representatives, that they could hear what we're doing and what output we want to get in this region. And we are clearly decided that everything, every effort that we will put will be oriented to children. Why to children? Because I think we all agree they would create our future after 10 and 20 years. And we as university must have goals, not just to prepare students and do science. All universities have 3 missions. First of them is, of course, science. Second is studies, qualification, preparation of specialists. And the third one is third mission, and it is called in science third mission. It is impact to society, impact to regional growth. So children in near future, in long-term goals, would be those who will enclose us, who will prove that our activities were good activities. And now practice how we are doing. If you would have questions about practical activities, there are joined also my team from STEAM Center and from Botanical Garden, so they would answer more concretely how they are working and how they are starting to work. In Lithuania, there will be established 10 STEAM open access activities centers. Why I am today with you, because in Šiauliai, we are the first STEAM center. We just wanted so much to be a pioneers that we made a lot of efforts to be small, but to be so amazingly strong and to be the first. So there are photos from last week. We started and we opened STEAM Center, and next week we will open to all over society, and I hope that pandemic will not damage everything. So what we suggest also with a botanical garden, in STEAM Center, there will be 4 or 5 laboratories, and we will work with invisible things that we cannot see in laboratorical works. And in Botanical Garden, most activities are oriented to visible things with plants, flowers, trees, and so on. Even tea degustation for parents and children. So we have this interconnection, and we want to have this deep relation with the children, because as this third mission, if you change a life, firstly, you should change the children, because every child has the right to get good education, not just at school, but also has a right to come to university, to meet professors, to meet experienced people, scientists, and to create normal mental models that they will appear in the future and construct their scientific knowledge. What else we are doing? Where is our priority? Here we see for our books, textbooks, prepared by myself and my team in STEAM. So one day I decided that if I would not get Nobel Prize, and if I can have very, very high hash indexes, so I think that we still are in the region. We should create something for children, because that time that I share exactly writing on scientific articles in English language that no one reads except my colleagues, we must create something for children. And we created textbooks, real scientific textbooks about STEAM for parents, teachers, and especially for children young age, primary and kindergarten school. And here you see 3 words, university plus municipality to children. Why municipality? Because I took all my braveness and went to municipality and asked for finalization. And next time what I did, I asked finalization for these very, very colorful books inside. And from free open access of them, I asked money for business. So next step, what we did and what we're doing still now, university plus business. Here we see just simple print screen, but every week, me, some colleagues, and there you see a lot of faces. They are all of them are businessmen. We all are going to random schools, and we are talking, sharing our ideas, what a university can give for people for free, for some money and so on, and what business can give for people, for teenagers, for young students, how they support universities, how they support both activities in STEAM, in Botanical Garden, in future activities, and so on. So we're just doing this promotion for open access because we think that we should start from younger ages, and we should attract young people to universities, because business understood. If we won't do this, lots of people would go out from the region. And during these 15 years in Lithuania, we see that half past people of the region were gone. They immigrated to other countries, or internal immigration happened. They moved to Vilnius and to capital cities. So it is hard work. It is non-profit work, but it is what we do because we care about regional activities and regional growth. what I suggest and what we need, for example, as a country, and not even as a country, as a scientist, in near future, not to stop doing this, not to stop exploring, grounding this by evidence-based, practical and reflectional activities, continues this team, botanical garden activities, open access possibilities for everyone who wants just to look at university, and to share, to have long-term goals. When I studied economics, they taught me that there is short-term goal, 3-5 years, and long-term goal in economics, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. So I wish that we all together, sharing by our ideas, will be very strong, very connected, and in near future will help to each other to be strong in the regions and to make much more effort, because we are those leaders who create and start to create future for children that will create future for us. So thank you so much. And I'm waiting, and my team is waiting for the questions.
Thank you very much, Renata, for your presentation. Indeed, I would say that Šiauliai University, now Šiauliai Academy, is like a light in the northern region, because Lithuania is really touched by high numbers of migration. And it is so important to maintain the same development level in different regions of the country, not only that all money, all human resources would go just in one spot. So you are greatly pursuing a big mission for the country, I would say. And I would like to ask you and encourage everybody else to write questions in our chat or to say it out loud. A lot of universities still, well, both in Lithuania and I believe in abroad, didn't start yet activities for like children, for inclusion of already young people at young age or in university activities, because there are no, visible maybe benefits, or there is lack of information what it could give to institution itself by pursuing such kind of activities. So maybe you could just sum up like a promotional, guidance for other higher education institutions. Why you should start doing these kind of activities?
Yeah, good question. Why? As I said, university is not just studies and research. And I think we are full of knowledge and intelligence. And this is our strength. When businessmen are strong, they have lots of money. So we call it mecenates, yeah? They give money because they have so much that they can give. So we are scientists and practitioners. So we can give our knowledge and share with others. And it is very much important to touch the souls, the heart, the mind of children who, for example, as the colleague said, no one of parents or relatives were studying at university. Just to open the mind that the world can be different. You also can, to make this real social inclusion. Just scientists must come to children, because science is not so difficult, and we must enclose to open. Sometimes when I rethinking and reflecting to myself, I'm behaving like a nun in monastery. So I come to my people and I also say, yes, we would not get a money, but you know that lots of monasteries are already open to society, and we get much more feedback, evidences that we are needed. And especially for scientists who are directly oriented to R&D work or citation indexes. Yes, it is very proud to be in high level, but what exactly you give to that child? How do you touch it? This is the main idea. You can be the best, but only 10 scientists will read your works. If it is for you, okay, it is maybe okay. But if we want more progress in a society, we must share everything what we are doing. Otherwise, we'll have TikToks, influential leaders, you know, very beautiful people, but no evidences, no scientific view, and no truth.
Okay, thank you very much. And I would like to invite people, participants of this webinar. Maybe you have some, you know, not necessarily questions, but your observations or insights which came during our discussions or listening to presentations. So it would be very interesting to hear your feedback. While others are gathering coverage, maybe I can share that I myself didn't have that, well, not that I didn't have chance, probably universities in Lithuania still, when I myself, when I was a child, didn't, how to say, practice such activities for children. And indeed, it is so much more opportunities to children nowadays to get informed about, you know, different kind of study subjects, and especially for girls to, you know, meet gender biases and to gather, you know, courage for pursuing their careers of their dreams. Yeah. If nobody is reacting, oh, Carlotta raised the hand. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I would ask to Renata if the activities that her team are proposing are all over the year, or just focusing in one period, like in Granada, they have 2 weeks activities. We in Padua, we have mainly 1 week, and then all departments and Botanical Garden offer laboratories during the year in every month. And what do you do for children? Is it something in a specific period, or every month you make something?
Thank you for question. In Botanical Garden all over the year, but of course much more popular activities, and more activities are in summer because of plants. Yeah, but in STEAM Center we are planning to have all year activities, and even summer schools, all year activities, because there are lots of people, lots of children who want to come. It will be fully booked because schools and kindergartens cannot offer such kind of activities.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. If I may,
Yes,
Ruta, I would love to take a chance and to say hello to Padova, the people that I met 2 years ago. It was my last trip to Botanical Garden. So hello, it is very nice to see you again, sound and well. Botanical Garden in Vilnius University this year celebrates 240 years. So it is a very long tradition of the science, together with the educational activities as well. So during all these centuries and years, it changed the place for times. It was not built and grown only in one place. And now, because of the university connections, it is very nice to see Šiauliai University Botanical Garden, which now as well as Vilnius University, to be a part of it, and hopefully it will be a part. As much as I know, probably the center already will belong to Šiauliai municipality. Oh. Was I lost?
A bit frozen with image of yours.
Okay, I don't know if I was frozen. There is something.
But we can hear you well, so you
okay.
can.
So it is a great news as well for us. So congratulations to the colleagues of building a center that is in the region, and it is very important. And it is very nice that these traditions of the educational activities promoting the science in the Vilnius University and its traditions are going out of the capital of the Lithuania. So this is a very good news. And so I just wanted to say hello and reply and thank you for the very interesting event, as educational activities are very important in such a non-academic departments as Botanical Garden Vilnius University is not academical department. So educational activities are very important for us. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Aida, for your input. I don't know if there is anybody else who would like to share or to make last remarks. If no, then I would like to thank you once more, everybody of you, for participating in this discussion already almost in the end of summer, when we are probably overloaded with the end of works and also exhausted from heat and from a whole school year. But I hope that everybody of us are bringing some ideas, some inspiring ideas, which will, maybe we will continue to implement right from September. And it's really important to start for somebody, or for somebody just continue activities for children, for young teenagers, even if at the moment we yet don't have any measurable indicators that it really works. But we have to wait like 5-10 years or more, and then maybe we will meet those children as our students in our classrooms, and we will hear, I believe, we will hear inspiring stories that that was, a cornerstone of a child's understanding that he or she can try to pursue and reach higher education. So I wish you, everybody, to have a nice summer, COVID-free, and to relax. And I hope to meet you in other kind of Arqus events, live or still online, but to meet you. So all the best for everybody. Thank you.